Okay. All right. So here we have this young. It's a 2, 3. It's a 4-needle pine. They grow in fours on this particular one when they come out. So it's white pine, and there's 2 babies here. So I'll never be able to separate them because they're fused together at the base. But I can put them together, and we can use that as a great attribute, and make this a great bonsai. And I've been taking care of these now for going on 3 years since I worked with the forestry department. These were trees that were being thrown away if they couldn't find a home for them. And these went through a trial, and it's a rust trial. So if you guys want to look into that, it's rabies rust. And so these are survivors, these trees here. These are immune to the rabies rust. So when they do finally begin, this is about the 4th time that I've done what I'm doing right now to this tree. So I do it probably once a year, and I transplant them, and I give them a little root massage like what we're doing now. So they get stripped pretty good. And so now this will go in a box. And I got a wire here that needs to come off because it's starting to grow into it. And this needs to come out of there. That was holding it down in that box that we just pulled, or this tub that we were in prior. So here we go with that. Okay, so we want as much root exposed surface root, right? So all this old dried stuff here is perfect for that. You can get these smaller ones to roll over and hide underneath would be good, because then this big root here will show at the top, and that's what we're going for. And I really love the moss that's starting at the base of the tree. Is great. All right, so we've had pretty good success the way I've been doing my soil. So I've been adding more moss as I go when I transplant these into these boxes. And here is the box. So this will go right in here, and we'll split the root 1/2 and the other half kind of like a broom underneath it. And then we'll tie this down back in place underneath. All right, so let me go get the wire and the cutters. Okay, so here I have a mix of potting soil. I got cutters, the wire, tie wire, and we got to get some of this sphagnum. Okay, So the sphagnum goes on the bottom, first layer underneath. Right? Because we still have to insulate, the roots have to be insulated, and they have to have something that's going to protect them from the cold. And this root ball is going to be above here, so it's going to be a round mound, kind of like a pitcher's mound. Okay, one more sphagnum. Okay, one more sphagnum, and this one kind of goes around the top of the root. All right. Right in there. All right, now we need some screws. Okay, some short little 1.25" screws, and we're going to put down below the surface, but level, and you got to be high enough to get the head, to get that wire wrapped around the head of that. All right, so go about right here, just a little bit. See. Okay. Now, get out of that root. Okay. Yeah. Right there. Looking good. Okay, now we got to go from this side to that side with the wire. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to wrap this first one around the head of the screw. And then around the wire tight. And you want it as straight as possible so that there's not any play. All right. There we go. Perfect. The wire holds it down in place where we want it, and we just got to keep an eye on it and adjust every now and then. That's why you have a little bit extra here. Yeah, we cut off a little piece of it, but there's enough there to loosen it and redo it. Yeah, every now and then you get stuff in your face. Saw that. Okay, here we go. All right, so now it's tied in place. All right. You can still pull that up a little bit. Bring it up. Pile some sphagnum underneath it. Bring it up. There you go. Okay. All this is just a little guide wire to keep it. There we go. That'll stay wired right there. Take all my little roots. And we add some of this one here that has potting soil, perlite, moss, and all the other pretty stuff that comes with frog products. All right, now I need one more gallon of moss for over the top of this to give it my pitcher's mound. And she will be done. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, see, that's in there solid. Okay, get the drill off the ground. Saw out of the way. Let's give it a little bit of water so we can get this to settle a little bit. just going to wash off the top. Okay. It'll be loose, and the rest of it will just stay. And because you do have the moss on top, you will grow that pretty green sphagnum moss on the top, because there are seeds in that mix. All right, and because this has holes at the bottom of all this lumber, it has drainage. So soil's just got to get saturated. I packed it pretty good. Okay, so it has one thing missing. And it's something that I've been doing. So this is called the Blaze of Glory. It's a little Japanese maple that I've grown from seeds. So I've been putting 2 to 3 plants in each box of these that I'm making to give them a little bit of color and give them some variety, a little bit of you say some color. Yeah, there's a little bit more color in the scene. All right. So this here, we're going to kind of cut it back a little bit and find the root ball. And there she is. All right. There you go. They both have their new home. And this will be updated once a year to a bigger box. Or maybe every few years. Okay. So there you have it. A few angles on that. It's pretty. Don't have to do no trimming yet because I gotta let it kind of see what it's gonna do, and then when we decide to give it its triangular shape, then We do that during the winter time. Not while it's growing, because it's enough shock already just transplanting. And that's our lesson for the day, yo. Back on the bonsai. See my babies up there in the back? Yeah, everybody's doing great. Yeah. Down below right there. Right here, those are little purple flower trees. Those are fuzzies. I call them fuzzies. That one's a vine maple. This one's your bloodgood, which I have a bunch of offshoots of that. There's a few over here. Wisteria that I brought back in the last month. More of the same Siskiyou regional white pine and Doug fir. Blaze of Glory, Wisteria, and that one there is your bloodgood, lace leaf, dwarf maple, Japanese, and then over here you have your pretty, it's a Siskiyou Doug fir. Same thing over here, Siskiyou Doug fir, Blaze of Glory, and then another vine maple. Blaze of Glory. That pretty wisteria. And over here, look at this baby. Look how pretty that is. And over here, see that? Pretty dogwoods. All right, you guys. Gotta go.